There are days when you wake up and feel like the whole world is turning its back on you. Everything that once felt certain now feels fragile. The things you believed would last forever suddenly vanish as if they were never real. Have you ever felt that way? That feeling when everything falls apart, and all you can do is sit in the darkness and ask yourself, why me? Why did everything go so wrong? If you're in the middle of a storm, if you're walking through one of the hardest chapters of your life, then this episode is for you. Today, we won't talk about quick fixes or how to run from your pain. No, we're going to look it in the eye. And we're going to listen closely to what life, or more precisely, the universe, karma, dharma, is quietly trying to tell you. Because maybe everything you're going through isn't the end. Maybe it's the beginning of something deeper, more powerful, more real. Maybe your life isn't falling apart, it's finally falling into place. Microphone emoji. Stay with me until the end of this episode. Because what you're about to hear might just change the way you look at every hardship you've ever been through. And perhaps it might even begin to heal the wounds you've silently carried for so long. There are moments in life when pain arrives like an undertow, quiet, but powerful enough to wash away everything you thought you needed. You lose something important, someone you love, a dream you've held onto for so long. You fall to your knees, and the first question that escapes your lips is, why is this happening to me? According to the Buddha's teachings, nothing is random. Every experience, no matter how painful, is a lesson in disguise. Buddhism doesn't see pain as a punishment, but as a strict teacher, arriving exactly when you need to awaken. When life is smooth, we rarely change. But it is in our most painful moments that we are forced to reflect, to shed layers, to grow. Just like a seed cannot sprout without breaking open, a human soul cannot transform without first being broken. Our natural response to pain is resistance. We want it to go away. We want to return to normal. But this resistance only prolongs the suffering. The Buddha said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. There is a profound Zen story about a disciple crying over how unfair life had been to him. His master asked him to take a handful of salt, put it in a glass of water, and drink. It was too bitter to swallow. Then the master brought him to a large lake and told him to throw the same salt in and drink again. This time, the water tasted pure and refreshing. The master smiled and said, pain is like this handful of salt, it doesn't change. What changes is where you place it. If you want to suffer less, become the lake. When we expand our awareness and see life as bigger than a single problem, pain becomes lighter. Not because it disappears, but because it no longer consumes all of who we are. Imagine, what if every pain you've endured wasn't meant to break you, but to awaken something inside you? What if loss was life's way of softening your heart? What if failure was a redirection toward your soul's true path? Then maybe pain is not the enemy, but a hidden doorway to awakening. Comfort can soothe us, but it can also lull us to sleep. When everything goes according to plan, when life feels smooth and predictable, we often stop asking questions. We stop growing. We quietly settle for a version of ourselves that is far smaller than who we were meant to become. But Buddhism teaches that chaos is not the enemy. On the contrary, it is the silent architect of transformation. It breaks down old structures to build something new. It clears away the outdated version of you to call forth the true self within. Have you noticed? The most profound changes in life often begin with disruption. An unexpected loss, an illness, a breakup, something permanent suddenly taken away. At that moment, you think everything is over. But in truth, it's only just beginning. Without chaos, transformation is just theory. Only when life tears away what we cling to do we truly begin to awaken. Crisis is the chisel striking the ego, awakening the strongest part within us. Imagine a seed lying on the surface of the ground. If it stays there forever, basking in sunlight and air, it will never sprout. It must be buried, must face darkness, must crack open, must push itself upward through layers of soil. Only through that struggle does life emerge. We are no different. Without chaos, we will never develop our deepest hidden potential. We need to be pushed out of our comfort zones. We need to be challenged, shaken, and forced to evolve. There's a Buddhist story about a disciple who saw a butterfly struggling to break free from its cocoon. Out of compassion, he tore it open to help, but when the butterfly emerged, its wings were too weak to fly, because it had skipped the struggle, the very process that would have made its wings strong enough to soar. In the same way, the chaos in life is the cocoon we must struggle within, but through that process, we grow stronger. We learn to love ourselves. We discover inner strength we never believed we had. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Buddhism invites us to ask a different question. What transformation is being born through this chaos? When we change our perspective, chaos no longer feels like a curse, but becomes a gateway leading us closer to our true selves. It doesn't destroy us. It rearranges everything, so life can fall into a more aligned place. There are moments in life when everything seems to fall apart at once. Plans unravel. Relationships end. Opportunities vanish, and you find yourself in the middle of a chaotic mess. You wonder, what did I do wrong? Have I strayed from my path? Buddhism offers a different view, a gentle yet profound truth. Nothing happens by chance. Beneath the surface chaos is a silent order guiding everything toward its natural unfolding. This is Dharma, the natural law. The invisible intelligence that governs the universe. Dharma is not punishment. Nor is it a rigid fate. It is the natural flow that all things follow. Leaves fall in their season. Flowers bloom when the time is right. The moon waxes and wanes in its cycle. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is delayed. Everything arrives in perfect time. Only humans resist that flow. We cling to expectations, demand certainty, and fear change. And it is that resistance that causes suffering. There's a Zen story about a man caught in a storm at sea. He panicked, struggled, trying to control the situation. But the more he resisted the waves, the deeper he sank, until he was exhausted and surrendered, and the current gently carried him back to shore. Surrender wasn't defeat, it was the intelligence of awareness. Dharma doesn't teach passivity. It invites us to act with awareness. While letting go of control, we still choose, still move forward, but without attachment, without forcing, because we trust that everything that comes or goes is serving our spiritual evolution. When a door closes, it's because it no longer serves your growth. When someone leaves, perhaps they've fulfilled their role in your journey. When delays occur, maybe it's because the time isn't yet right. Nothing is wasted in Dharma's design. Every failure, every goodbye, every detour is a way to bring you back to your truest self. Imagine life as a flowing river. You can't stop it, but you can learn to swim with it. Aligning with the flow doesn't mean being swept away. It means knowing when to be patient, when to act, and when to let go. When you live in alignment with your Dharma, the path meant only for you, you'll feel a sense of ease. No more comparison. No more confusion, because you know, you're walking the right path, even if it looks nothing like anyone else's. From a young age, we're taught that if we want to succeed, we must control everything. Plan carefully. Try harder. Master the future. And so, we grow up believing, if I do everything right, life will unfold exactly as I planned. But the truth is, life has never followed anyone's script. You can do everything right, and still experience loss, rejection, or heartbreak. Because life is not a machine. It is a living, breathing flow, mysterious, and unpredictable. It is the need for control that causes us the deepest suffering. We set expectations. I'll be happy if this relationship lasts forever. I'll feel fulfilled only if my career follows this exact path. But when things inevitably change, as they always do, we panic, suffer, and resist. Because we believe we've lost something. But in truth, we've only lost the illusion that we were ever in control. Buddhism calls this Maya, illusion. The illusion that you can hold life tightly in your small human hands. But control is often just another form of fear. When you try to control, it means you don't trust, not life, and not even yourself. There's a story of a Zen monk who lived on top of a mountain. One day, A man rushed up to warn him, "A great storm is coming. You must leave before it's too late." The monk smiled and replied, "If the storm comes, I will welcome it. If I die, I accept death. If I live, I accept life." That was not weakness. That was the wisdom of surrender. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It is not passivity. Letting go means no longer forcing life to obey your will. It is the art of flowing with life, instead of against it. In Buddhism, there is the concept of wu-wei, effortless action. You still act, still make efforts, but you are not attached to outcomes. You plant the seed, but do not demand it sprout instantly. You trust the process. And when you truly let go, you'll touch a rare kind of freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from anxiety. Freedom to live fully in this present moment. Life often feels like a puzzle missing its final piece. Some days flow effortlessly like a gentle stream. But other days feel heavy, confusing, and so painful that you just want to give up. You ask, why me? What did I do wrong? Buddhism doesn't promise to erase suffering, but it gives us a new way to see that every experience, no matter how bitter, carries a lesson. And those very lessons will guide us toward awakening. Think back to the moments when you grew the most in life. Were they times when everything was easy, or were they the painful moments, when you were hurt, lost, or deeply disappointed? It is in those moments that your true self begins to emerge. When life knocks you down, you have two choices. 1. Become a victim, drowning in the question, why is this happening to me? 2. Become an awakened student, and ask, what is this trying to teach me? That question, simple as it is, can transform your life. It turns pain into light. It turns challenges into opportunities for growth. It turns you from someone lost into someone walking mindfully on their true path. Imagine life as a great river. The calm stretches soothe you, but it's the rough currents, the sudden drops, the hidden whirlpools, that teach you how to steer. And every time you make it through, you grow stronger, wiser, more skillful. If today you feel lost, remember this: the universe is not punishing you. You are not being abandoned. You are being refined. Like gold in fire, your soul is being purified to shine brighter than ever before. Awakening is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to yourself, the person who has always been there, waiting to be remembered. Wounds are unavoidable. Love ends. Friends leave. Trust is broken. When the heart shatters, we believe we will never heal. We close off, build walls, and whisper, from now on, I won't let anyone hurt me again. But Buddhism teaches that the heart doesn't need to close. It can open, even while it is hurting, because it is through the cracks that the light of compassion begins to shine. We don't learn compassion on peaceful days. We learn it from our own pain, from sleepless nights, from silent tears, from feelings of loss, emptiness, and loneliness. That is where true empathy is born. Someone once asked a Zen master, how can I keep my heart from being hurt? The teacher smiled and replied, let it be hurt, but don't close it. Because the heart only becomes truly strong when it stays open, even after breaking. Every time you go through pain, you understand others more deeply. You know the feeling of being abandoned, so you learn how to stay for others. You felt nameless sadness, so you no longer judge anyone's sorrow. Wounds, when seen through mindfulness, become the path to compassion. Instead of asking, why must I endure this? Ask, who is this experience preparing me to understand? Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone who will come into your life later. Your heart isn't weak when it breaks. It's just expanding. Every wound is a doorway to deeper kindness. And it is compassion, not time, that will truly heal you. Let your heart continue to love, to trust, to open, even in an imperfect world. Because your heart was made for love, not fear. There are moments in life when we feel completely abandoned. Someone leaves without a word. A long-awaited opportunity slips away. A door shuts just when we needed it open. And we ask, why me? What did I do to deserve this? But Buddhism invites us to look deeper. Not every loss is a punishment. Not everyone who leaves does so because we're not good enough. Sometimes A departure is the universe clearing the path for something greater, something more aligned with your soul's journey. It's like removing old bricks before building a new home. The universe doesn't take away what's meant to stay. It only removes what no longer fits. Every ending is a delicate arrangement to prepare for a beginning we can't yet see. There's a Buddhist story of a man who came to the Buddha. Desperate after losing everything, his family, his wealth, his name. He asked, "Why didn't you help me hold on to what I loved?" The Buddha replied, "You're clinging to a cracked pot. No matter how tightly you hold it, the water leaks. Let it go empty, so you can receive new water." Life is not abandoning you. It's making room. Room for growth. Room for new people. Room for you, the deeper, more authentic version of yourself. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is being rearranged? Where am I being led?" Change your question, and you'll realize you are not alone. You are being guided, quietly, wisely, patiently. What we call abandonment is sometimes the greatest gift. It brings you back to yourself. It stops you from seeking external validation. It teaches you how to stand strong from within, not by leaning on others. Trust that, if something or someone leaves your life, something more fitting is drawing near. And the only thing you must do is keep your heart open, even if you can't see it yet. In the age of social media, it's easy to feel left behind. You scroll and see someone buying a house, another happily in love, someone else traveling the world. You ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Why have they gone so far, while I feel stuck? But Buddhism reminds us of a deep truth. No one shares the same journey. Just like a lotus only blooms when the waters are still and the sun is warm. Each soul blossoms at its own time, not earlier, not later. Look at nature. The sun doesn't compare itself to the moon. A rose doesn't try to become a lotus, because each has its own time to bloom, and its own irreplaceable beauty. Comparison is the root of suffering. When you look at someone else's life and forget who you are, you lose the precious peace within you. You weren't born to copy anyone. You were born to be you. There's a Zen story that goes like this. A student asked his teacher, "Why haven't I awakened, while others do so quickly?" The teacher replied, "Because you're running towards someone else's finish line, not walking your own path." You may not be where you want to be yet, but that doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. Some journeys require time to deepen. Some souls need to move slowly to understand. And that slowness often gives birth to lasting wisdom. Instead of comparing, observe. Observe what you're learning today. Be grateful for each small step, because every step is bringing you home to yourself. You're not late for life. You're being prepared. Prepared for a deeper, stronger version of you. And when the time is right, you will bloom in a way no one expected, not even you. There are stretches of life that leave you utterly confused. You don't know where you're going. You lose direction, lose faith, and feel like everything is slipping through your fingers. You quietly think, "I've lost myself." But you know what? That's not the end. It's part of the journey. In Buddhism, getting lost is not a mistake, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to shed your old layers, outdated definitions, and start recognizing who you truly are. Like someone lost in a forest. You panic at first, but when you stop relying on old maps, you begin to tune into instinct. You turn inward. You start listening to yourself. And that's when the real path begins to appear. Sometimes, you have to lose the old plan to find your true dream. You have to let go of the ideal self to meet the authentic self. You must fall into darkness to realize the light never left you. Buddhism teaches, there is no wrong path, only lessons waiting to be understood. Every spiral, detour, and dead end is teaching you something. And when the lesson is learned, being lost becomes illumination. Think back to the times you were lost in the past. What did you learn? How did you grow stronger? No detour is meaningless. It always brings you closer to yourself, if you're willing to listen. Getting lost is not failure. It's a rite of passage. It's the moment you stop following the crowd, and begin walking as yourself. Trust that, even if things feel dark now, one day you'll say, I needed to get lost to find myself. And you will smile, not because everything is clear, but because you know, You were never T. There are things that happen which leave you puzzled. Why did the person I love most leave me? Why did I get hurt so deeply? Why do all my efforts feel wasted? We look at life and see chaos. We see unfairness. We see meaninglessness. But Buddhism teaches that nothing is meaningless. Everything that happens, good or bad, is part of your awakening. Even what makes you cry, break, or fall apart, becomes the raw material that leads you back to yourself. A fallen leaf is not meaningless. It nourishes the soil, preparing it for a new spring. Likewise, a broken relationship, a failed dream, or a collapse has a deeper reason, beyond what the eyes can see. You may not understand the reason today, but one day, looking back, you'll silently thank what you once resented. You'll realize, without that wound, you wouldn't be this gentle now. Without that failure, you wouldn't be this strong. The Buddha taught, no experience is wasted, if you are mindful enough to learn from it. So, instead of rejecting the experience, ask, what is this trying to teach me? Everything that happens in your life, the right people, the wrong ones, the perfect timing, or delays, all contribute to who you are becoming. Nothing is extra. No moment is misplaced. It's all part of a greater plan, the plan of your awakening. Look back on your journey. You've been through so much, and yet, you're still standing. You've learned how to be resilient, how to love yourself, how to sit in silence without feeling lonely. You're not lost. You're going deeper. And that is the true path. Endings are not final. They are beginnings of a deeper dimension. And everything, gentle or intense, is guiding you back to your inner truth. Nothing is meaningless. Nothing is wrong. Everything has purpose. Du bandang o dao tren hun trin. Hai nor, ban kung he don dok. You've walked through chapters full of reflection, touching the deepest parts of your emotions and soul. Maybe you cried. Maybe you felt relief. Maybe something quietly opened in your heart, softly, truthfully. No matter where you are in your journey, remember this, you are not alone. The universe never abandons you. It whispers through every turn, every loss, every quiet miracle you might not recognize at first. Everything happening, gently or fiercely, is guiding you back to yourself. Buddhism doesn't promise a life without suffering, but it offers you a path, to understand the pain, to walk through it, and to find freedom within. You don't need to be okay right away. You only need to be present, honest, and keep going. As long as you're still breathing, you are still moving toward the light. As long as your hand still finds your heart, you are still alive, and learning. Little by little, every tear, every silence, every time you rise again, is sacred. Thank you for walking with me to this final chapter. I believe you're coming home, not to a destination, but to yourself, lighter, clearer, more awakened. It's been an honor to walk beside you, even if just for these few quiet moments. If one day you feel lost again, come back here. Even a short passage may be enough to remind you how strong you've been, how far you've come, and that you were never truly alone. Sparkles emoji. May you always find peace within yourself.